As a filmmaker, when it comes to crowdfunding, one of the things I am particular about is to choose a platform that doesn't have a minimum threshold. So what I mean by that, platforms such as Kickstarter, while I think is an amazing one, they require you to essentially reach a certain percentage of your overall crowdfund goal in order to receive that money. It becomes kind of an all or nothing type of thing. And in many ways, that is a viable way to test out, an idea, a project, whatever it may be, to see if you can get a certain amount of funding, then you can go through with it. And if not, then you scrap the whole thing. And, the backers that were going to pledge, they aren't charged anything, right? So it's a very sort of low risk type of situation in that way. But for me, I have a different approach to that. And, here's kind of the reason. Like, at the end of the day, once I commit to a project, by hell or high water, I know I'm going to get to the finish line. It's just a matter of how, right? From the onset, I've already made that commitment to myself. So it's not a question of will I, won't I? It's a question of how, right? And so the crowdfunding aspect of it truly becomes this aspect that, okay, no matter what I achieve during this campaign, it will progress and propel me forward. Now, in the ideal, yes, we not only reach the overall goal, but exceed it. That would be fantastic. It doesn't always happen, but like with my last movie, for example, a Bogota trip, we knew what our overall budget was, and we were trying to reach that. We didn't get it, but that's okay. We came about halfway to what it needed to be. So that truly helped me. And then the rest of it, I supplemented, from my own funds and other ways. But without that crowdfund, it wouldn't have been possible, right? But at the same time, we would have never gotten that money because we didn't meet the, most platforms like specific threshold. So, for me, the platform that I know that allows you to, take whatever funds, you do end up with is Indiegogo. I'm sure there are others, but as far as like notoriety, that's one that certainly is up there as far as, known names. And this is not an advertisement for them necessarily. It's just merely an insight into my mentality and how I approach projects, because as I said, for me, whatever money is earned, I'll figure out a way to utilize it in the best of ways to keep the project going. And then at the next juncture, find a way to fund, the next phase of it, right? That's always been sort of my mantra, my overarching philosophy towards this. And, I'm not saying you have to do it that way, but I'm just offering it up as a different sort of approach, right? In the creative endeavors especially, there's not necessarily just one right way to do something. There are, of course, good principles, but really the right way is whatever works for you and gets the project done, minus being, a toxic and heinous person. So, if you can do those things, then you're doing it correctly. And, for me, this is my sort of approach as far as crowdfunding is concerned. But as always, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, opinions, your experiences with crowdfunding. I'd love to hear from you about all this stuff. So thank you for taking the time to tune in. I appreciate it. See you